Hello, and many thanks for tuning in. Nigeria's opposition has recorded what they are describing as a major legal and political victory. A federal high court in Abuja has struck out a suit challenging the leadership of the African Democratic Congress, commonly known as the ADC, leaving the party celebrating what it's called a reaffirmation of its legitimacy under the law. But beyond the legal victory lies a much bigger political question. Does this judgment strengthen Nigeria's opposition ahead of the 2027 elections, or is it simply one battle in what promises to be a long political war? The judgment has been welcomed enthusiastically by the ADC, which says the courts not only struck out the case for lack of jurisdiction, but also dismissed the claims brought against the party. According to the ADC, the ruling confirms that its leadership, headed by former Senate President David Mark, emerged in accordance with both the Electoral Act 2022 and the party's constitution. The party argues that the decision removes any legal uncertainty surrounding their leadership at a critical moment as political parties intensify preparations for the next general election. In a statement issued by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC described the judgment as far more than a legal technicality. According to the party, the court reaffirmed an important democratic principle that the internal affairs of political parties should generally remain internal matters. The ADC insists that leadership decisions reached within a political party should not become opportunities for endless litigation aimed at destabilizing opposition platforms. Is this judgment simply protecting party autonomy, or is it also sending a broader message about the limits of judicial intervention in political disputes? The party says they hope the ruling will discourage what they describe as attempts to weaken opposition parties through the courts. In recent years, legal battles have increasingly become part of Nigeria's political landscape, with disputes over party leadership, candidate nominations, and internal congresses frequently ending up before judges. According to the ADC, political competition should primarily be decided through democratic participation rather than prolonged courtroom battles. The court's decision appears particularly significant because of the timing. Nigeria's political atmosphere is already becoming increasingly active as parties position themselves for the 2027 general election. Every leadership dispute, court ruling, and internal realignment now carries wider political implications. Can an opposition party effectively challenge a ruling government if it remains trapped in internal legal disputes? That is one of the reasons the ADC has celebrated this ruling so strongly. The party also praised the trial judge, commending what they describe as courage and impartiality in delivering the judgment. According to the ADC, the court went further by awarding costs against both the plaintiff and the legal representatives involved in bringing the case. The party expressed hope that such decisions would discourage what they consider frivolous litigation intended to distract political parties from their core responsibilities. However, despite celebrating the victory, the ADC also struck a cautious tone. The party said it would remain vigilant against what it described as anti-democratic forces seeking to weaken the opposition. Although it did not identify any individuals or organizations, the statement suggests the party believes legal challenges may continue as political competition intensifies. Is this legal victory the end of the controversy, or merely the beginning of another chapter in Nigeria's evolving political context? Reacting separately to the judgment, David Mark described the court's decision as another important milestone in Nigeria's democratic journey. In a statement issued through his special advisor on media and publicity, Kola Olobondiyan, the former Senate president said the ruling vindicated the ADC's commitment to constitutionalism, the rule of law, and multi-party democracy. According to him, political parties should be allowed to function freely without intimidation or unnecessary interference. David Mark argued that democracy can only flourish when opposition parties are allowed to organize themselves independently within the framework of the law. He maintained that no individual or institution should place itself above the Constitution and expressed confidence that the judiciary had once again demonstrated its role as the guardian of Nigeria's constitutional law. These are powerful statements, but they also raise an important question. Can democracy truly thrive without a strong, stable, and competitive opposition capable of offering Nigerians genuine political alternative? The former Senate president also described the judgment as a victory not only for the ADC but for democracy itself. According to him, the decision reinforces the principle that political competition should be based on ideas, policies, and public support rather than attempts to undermine legitimate political platforms through external pressure. He urged party members and supporters to remain united as preparations continue for future political contest. There is another important dimension to this story. Nigerian democracy depends not only on free elections, but also on the health of its political parties. Strong opposition parties play a crucial role in holding governments accountable, presenting alternative policies, and expanding democratic choice. Whether one supports the ADC or not, the ability of opposition parties to organize themselves lawfully remains an important part of any functioning democracy. Without credible opposition, can any democracy truly claim to be vibrant? At the same time, legal victories alone do not win elections. Court judgments may settle leadership disputes, but they do not automatically translate into public support. Ultimately, political parties must still convince voters through ideas, policies, and leadership. The ADC itself acknowledged this by stating that the focus should now shift away from litigation towards addressing Nigeria's pressing challenges, including insecurity, economic hardship, and social development. That may prove to be the much greater test in the months ahead. The Federal High Court's ruling represents a significant boost for David Mark and the African Democratic Congress. It strengthens the party's legal position, removes immediate uncertainty over its leadership, and allows it to concentrate on political mobilization ahead of the 2027 elections. Whether this judgment becomes a turning point for Nigeria's opposition or simply another legal victory will depend on what the ADC does next. Winning in court is one thing. Winning the confidence of millions of Nigerian voters is something entirely different. Do you believe this court ruling strengthens Nigeria's democracy? Or do you think the real challenge for opposition parties lies beyond the courtroom? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this analysis, please like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth coverage of Nigeria's biggest political developments. I am Kasitoni, and many thanks for watching.